Software AI agents are here. You can write emails, create summaries, categorize information, extract PDF data, and much more directly inside your Softr database. Check it out. Welcome back. I'm Zack from InnerDev Solutions. We help businesses streamline their processes using custom no-code tools so you can focus on what matters most. To learn more, you can visit our website, innerdevsolutions.com, or use the link in the description below. If you don't have a Softr account already, you can get started for free and get 10,000 Softr credits for the first month by using the link below. Within the AI agents, you can now autofill fields using AI, so you can write product descriptions based on title and tags and lots of different fields. There's lots you can do between writing and categorizing information. You can also trigger these AI agents manually or based off of an automatic execution. You can set filters and conditions, which allows you not to waste more credits on irrelevant rows and data. And you can actually choose the model that you're working with, whether that's GPT-4o or Claude. And there's some other models available within the AI agents. And you can also extract data directly from PDFs and pull it into your tables within Softr databases. And lastly, you can pull live data from the web using the allow web search functionality. Let's get into a little bit more here, and I'll show you some examples. First thing, we're going to start with a products table, and I just have an example product. I just chose the new iPhone 17 base model. We can imagine that you have a bunch of different products within your products table, and this obviously can apply to a lot of different situations, but I want to create a description based off of this product name. What we're going to do right now, it is just set up to be entered in manually. Click this drop down, we'll edit field, and we have this option that's labeled AI. Now we can make a selection, and there is some options already for you, but I'm just going to click this, turn it on, let AI autofill this field. And then you have another option, which is allow manual edits on top of this. I'm going to enable that as well in case the description isn't great and I want to make some changes. Now we've got this model drop down. You can choose from a bunch of different models, and on the right side, you can see the weight or the cost of credits that it's going to use. And it has access to most of the new models with both OpenAI and Anthropic. And you can choose from the different options. If I scroll down, we can see there's some Claude models, both Opus and Sonnet as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select the 4.1 for now. And then I've got a prompt. I've already pre-written it. This just says provide a product description based on the name of the product, access the web to perform your research. And then we need to pass in the product. I'm just going to use the @ symbol, or you can click this here and we can select the name. So based off the product name, perform this. And then we want to, in this case, allow the web search so it can pull live data. And then, as I mentioned, there is a couple of additional options here, the filters and conditions. We can go in and we can see that the triggered manually. There's a button. I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. We can also choose when a new record is created, which is fine. We'll leave that on for now. And then existing record is updated. And then you can choose the actual fields. Now, in our case, we only have one additional field, but I will select it, go down and add in some filters. We can only run this if the name exists, but you can imagine if we have a bunch of other fields as well, we can specifically say when we want it to run. If the description already exists, then maybe we don't want it to run. If you have additional fields, there's a lot of additional filters that we can add. And you have an option to preview this and test it as well, but I'm just going to click save. And then when I click into it here, once I hit save, we can see it has this little icon, which is meaning that it is an AI field. And then on the right, I can click this fill with AI. Within about 10 to 15 seconds, it populated. If I click this expand, we can see exactly what it shows, and it's pretty accurate. I'm just going to leave it, but you do have the option to go in and make edits if you want. Now, that's just a really simple option, is being able to call out to the web using AI to make a description based off the product. support tickets. We can get into this and categorize things. We can summarize things, and we could even respond or make a draft email response to a support ticket as well. Obviously, when someone submits a ticket, we'll probably include their name, but I'm just keeping it really simple. And I'm just going to make up a support ticket. But one thing that we've got is this category. If I click into it, we can see there's a few options. We've got an outage report, a support ticket / bug, and a feature request. Now that I have added a support ticket, we can go in and update the settings in the category. I'm just going to show you what this says quickly. It just says, hi, can you please add functionality that allows users to extract line items from invoices? So in this case, it's a feature request. So we'll see if the model categorizes it properly. First, we need to set up the category fields. We'll go into edit field. We'll select this AI option, choose a smaller and cheaper model. We'll just use the mini option, and we will say categorize the support ticket based on the description and the select options available. And then we'll just put description. We'll use the @ symbol, and we'll pass in the support ticket description. And then we can go down to, I'm going to leave the web search off in this case. We don't need to use that. Run when. I'll just not worry about those settings. Click this fill with AI, and it should happen quite quickly. And we can see that it correctly labeled it as a feature request. Now, if we wanted to generate a response, we could do that as well. We'll use long text. Just call this response email. Go down to AI, select that, enable it. We'll use 4.1. That's fine. And we'll say create a response to this support ticket received ticket message, and we'll pass in the description. Again, we're not going to worry about the web search in this case. We could and probably should add some more detail if we're creating the responses right in line here. I'm not going to worry about it for this video. I'm going to keep it simple. I'll hit save, and I will run this as well. And again, hopefully within about 10 seconds, it should populate an email, which it did. Thank you for your suggestion. We appreciate your feedback. Overall, it looks like it did a good job, and we didn't provide it that much context outside of the support ticket and asking it to write a response email. So that's pretty cool that all of this can be done right within your Softr databases. And there's one more thing I want to show you. This is one that I work with an awful lot within my business when I'm building order management systems, is the extraction of information from PDFs. So quite often that could be invoices or purchase orders, sales orders, those types of documents. Right now, there's not a great way to extract line items from the actual document that we're going to pass into the system. I usually do that with an external tool, but I would imagine that at some point in time, maybe in the near future, Softr will work on that functionality. Right now, what we're just going to do is pass in a sample invoice. We're going to extract a few things like the date. We're going to extract the total amount of the invoice, and maybe we can do the invoice ID or invoice number as well. Within invoices, I just changed this to an auto number field. I've also added a files field as well, just labeled it invoice file. And I have a sample invoice that I have uploaded in here. The few fields that we're going to test this on is a currency field. We'll just label it invoice total. I'll hit save, and I will come back and configure the AI settings in a moment. The next one that I want to add in is a short text field. We'll call this invoice number. And the last thing is the invoice date. We need a date field. Call this invoice date, and I'll hit save. I'll go back to the invoice total. I'll click on the AI icon, enable, and I will just say extract the invoice total from the provided invoice. And then I will just pass in the invoice file. We'll use 4.1. That's fine. We'll allow manual edits just in case it makes a mistake. And I'm not going to worry about any of these other settings. I'll hit save. And let's give this a test run to see how it works. And it shows 9350, which is correct. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy that prompt and go into the invoice number. Now this time around, I'm actually going to try an even cheaper model. Let's try the 4.1 MIDI. I'm going to paste this in, and I just need to back out the file tag because that doesn't copy over properly. I have to re-add the invoice file field, and then here extract the invoice total. In this case, we're going to go the invoice number from the provided invoice, and I'll hit save. And then lastly, I need to do this in the date as well. So I'll click AI, we'll enable that. Again, let's try a cheaper model to see how it works. I'm going to paste this in. Need to re-add the correct field tag, which is invoice file, and we'll just call this invoice date, or relabel this to extract the invoice date rather. Hit save. I'm going to fill both of these with AI and we'll see how it does. The invoice number, that looks like it's correct, and the invoice date is also correct. I'll go in and verify. We got the invoice number right here, January 25th, 2016, and the amount is $93.50. So we can see that worked for all of these. Overall, the AI agents within Softr databases seems to work really well. There's a lot that you can do with it already, and I'm sure they're going to add a lot more features and functionality in the near future. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more tutorials in the future.